Hey ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to the ultimate Undershed guide. Every bit of loot that you can find. Over 70 pieces of lint, milk, molars, mega milks, all the science points, and a huge ton of bug resources and upgrade materials. If you do find this video helpful, make sure you leave a like, check out the rest of my Grounded guides, gameplay and news, and let's go into one of the toughest dungeons in Grounded. So of course you won't be able to access the Undershed until you've gone and activated Burgle's scab, which is on top of the table on the deck. To do that you need to have activated or got hold of all 4 of the super chips and returned them to Burgle. The one in the black anthill, the one inside the haze, and then you've got the 2, one from the pond and one from the hedge. This biometric scanner will not work until you've done that, and it's the only way in until you complete it, where there will be an exit point out near the termite den. So in this first stage you will find plenty of hilbassas, lots of salt, maybe some lint and berry leather. The usual scanner and ASL machine as well. And a quick tip, if you're looking just to get some Black Ox beetles to do some upgrades, then you will find 3 of them in the very first section here. So it's a great place to come and farm them. There's a huge amount of termites as well. So bring something like salty. I would say the salty mace upgraded, even though it's kind of not the best since it's not stabbing. I still think it's pretty decent. And something fresh like stabbing or slashing, as you're going to need that for a whole bunch of stuff, but particularly the end boss, the mant. And to rattle off the creatures you will come across, spiny wart fleas, but you won't hopefully have to defeat them as it's just a case of avoiding them. Then you've got a huge amount of all weavers, you've got 2 wolf spiders, obviously the black widow, but I'm going to show you guys how you can get past it without facing it. Obviously the black widow spiderlings, we've got dust mites in here as well, a whole ton of mosquitoes. And you've even got some roly-polies, a whole ton of them as well, plus some black ants and scarabs. You can get a guaranteed 8 scarab shells if you come in here at the right time. When we get to the back and we actually explore the Undershed laboratory, you will have to deal with just a few red ants and a couple of baby orb weaver juniors, as well as maybe some infected larvae. So hopefully you've been following what I've been showing you. This is my recommended way that you do the lab. You head straight to the mant if you've got enough materials. I obviously am using pretty upgraded gear, but this is the last boss, so it should be at least one of your sets that's fully upgraded. And obviously whatever playstyle suits you. But you need to go across them pipes and then jump onto this little stone pillar here. Deal with some of these termites. This is why we're going to go through the mant first, because there's way too many parts to carry. Even with a pet, you'd just be overflowed. So unless you've got absolute buckets of them resources that you won't need, you're going to be dropping a hell of a lot on the floor, plus all the upgrade rocks that we're going to get in here as well. So that's why I'm suggesting do it in different stages. Another late game tip, giving it to you now, is that you'll get a whole bunch of meals once you've defeated the mant, so they can help you explore the rest of the lab too. Hop onto the hook here, and then you should be able to just jump on the wire behind me without having to actually go this far or this high, but I did that anyway. Then jump across. Stick to the right hand side and you'll come across the pipe gap with a nail which you can jump on or use your tuft. It's recommended you bring at least 2, maybe even 3. But get across here and then carry on to the pipe that you can see in the distance. We're going to be jumping on top of that. As I said, I'm going to show you every single little bit of loot in here, but first is just how to get to the mant boss. Keep going all the way down and eventually you'll come to another cross pipe that you can see. Actually, when you get to the end of the pipe, you might want to see if you can just swing all the way across. And this is pretty much how you avoid all the enemies. But you'll never make it because you just don't have enough height and you'll end up falling down basically while you're making it to the side here. So instead, go to this cross pipe, jump on it from here, and then head all the way till you get to the pink lint. Once you're here, you can then go ahead and jump over to the left hand side. Again, you will need a tuft with you, otherwise you most likely won't make it. Then simply go behind underneath it and get on the pipe that's right in front of you here. Once we're on top of this, obviously you can go and get all the loot. I'm going to show you where to get the mega milk while we're doing this. Even though I want it to be the fastest way, you simply can't really ignore it. So go left here on the cable and then jump on top of this cable. And then of course you'll be able to get on top of this pink lint to go ahead and get the mega milk and even more. Look at that. There's got to be at least maybe 25-30 pieces there. Any you harvest that fall down, then obviously you'll have to pick it up, but we'll cover that in a bit of a while. So head back the way you came, jump on this cable again and jump on the right hand side cable and follow it to the right. So obviously head to the right hand side, past these pipes here on the left and keep going up as high as you can. You don't really want to hit the ceiling, but you're going to have to jump from the top here and then basically use your glider to get onto that white pipe. Obviously make sure you're saving lots just before you do the jump. It's okay to reload these one times. Once you're on this ledge, you will be able to then drop and hang into here to get the science points. Nice little cheeky 500. Then aim at this big rock that you can see in front of you, and then go ahead and just jump and glide all the way over. It's the nearest point to you, and it's the only way that you can get across here. I've tried so many others, but this is definitely the easiest and quickest way. You can see my tuff just about lasts, but I definitely run out a bit later, so recommend bringing 2, or the one with more durability on it if you're lucky enough to pick it up, the trinket. And there you go, we're now where all the roly-polies are and the entrance to the Undershed laboratory, avoiding all the mosquitoes, so many termites, all weavers, wall spiders, the black widow most importantly, and we can jump straight in the laboratory and face off against the man. Hold up, wait a minute, let's dial that all back now and show you where to get all that sweet loot. So I'm not sure if there's too much use telling you what kind of build to bring down here. You're going to be more comfortable with whatever you've got, and you're going to have different things than I'll have. Obviously I have got maxed out gear here. This is meant to be like the last part of the game, so you really should have a majority of your stuff max geared or leveled. If not, you'll just simply have to bring a lot more healing items. So first off, we need to clear out some of these oxes. There's quite a few of them, there's 3 of them on this place, and you do get attacked by some termites if you jump straight down there. So ideally you want to separate them a little bit, maybe kill one of them at long range before hopping down. Obviously pretty resistant to stabbing, so arrows aren't the best. Maybe even the mint mallet, the mint mace would be pretty ideal, as that's pretty effective against them. But yeah, look out for them termites. Obviously salt is good for taking care of them as well. With all the bug parts that you'll pick up, you literally will be inundated with gear. So even when you've killed these 3 and cleared out this first area, you might want to go back through the laboratory that you came through and dump some in a box for later. So with that one taken care of, it was time to wait on the other 2, and again I just decided to keep myself super safe and keeping them at range. Once the second one was dead, I felt confident enough to go and take on the third one on my own. They're not that especially hard to deal with as long as you've got a decent shield with plenty of blocking, and yeah, you're making sure you're keeping your health above the halfway point, because if they do manage to catch you with one of their charges, or maybe their shuffle attack, which can do a lot more, then yeah, it could reduce your health quite a bit. Obviously termite soldier here getting involved as well, so that wasn't too bad, and I'll let him carry on wailing on him as I finished him off. Once that's taken care of, that's the main danger in this first part of the Undershed done. Head to the pink mounds and go ahead and start collecting all that sweet lint. You'll literally come away with over 30, maybe even 40 pieces if you go and clear out every single piece. But here there should be at least 3 nodes, giving you around 12. So facing the wallway that you came in, head towards the left hand corner and you can see the upgrade rock there that we're going to go and harvest. Once you've got the sturdy marble, you're going to keep going into the top left corner just behind us. And right in that far corner underneath the pipe, another sturdy marble. Look out for the dust mites, there'll be a bunch of these all on top of this white pipe and inside it eventually. If you actually head back down to the trench, you can take a peek in. There is a few branches leading down, and there is about 10 ore weavers down here. You don't really want to go down here from this end. There's another way to get down and get some upgrade rocks. Really, all that's down here so close to this part is maybe just that mint piece. Instead, go behind the light and you should find some nails on the floor, so you go ahead and get some rust. And there is a science post as well that I'm going to show you guys. You will see this branch that takes you almost towards the entrance where you came in, and a milk molar, agonisingly just out of reach. Don't worry, we'll get to that in a second, but you can't get up there via this way. Instead, drop down and head towards this plank, go all the way up, and on top of it you will find the science outpost. This is where you'll be able to use the scanner, the resource scanner, and you should find some more of the data items that you might need. We'll just take care of this termite soldier first. Absolute ton of splinter arrows or splinter wood, but you won't really need them at the moment. And yeah, we can go ahead and start looking inside this post. You'll probably get attacked by some dust mites in here as well, and make sure you grab it there. Now jump onto this tube right here by jumping onto the metal first, and swing to the left, and that's how we're going to go and get that milk molar, as well as some more science points and a ton more lint. Once you've ducked and walked, you can jump on here and then go ahead and start taking the nodes that are on the side here. Keep going along the tube and duck under the wood again if you need to, and keep going to get the 500 raw science once you take care of the dust mite, and then drop down onto the wood and you'll be able to go ahead and get that milk molar. If you did have a tuft, you could have probably just about landed on this in the first place, but you wouldn't have been able to get that raw science, so that's why you're better off doing it now. Again, take care of some more of the dust mites and pick up some more of the splinters if you really want them. Now don't bother going back to where you just was, because we're going to go a different way inside the actual pipe now. Although you can go up there and that will take you to the next stage by sticking on close on top of that actual pipe, but I figure this is better as this is how you're going to get inside to get another mega milk. Head across again to the white pipe, and I'm being really descriptive here, so hopefully you guys won't get confused as it is quite a large space, and just follow the pipe all the way down towards the opening. Once you get inside, you'll encounter a whole bunch of dust mites, and just be careful in case there's any sort of black ox, or maybe even a wolf spider can occasionally come over this side, or if it spots you it might jump. But otherwise you're going to have to go all the way to the very end, taking care of these guys and getting some of the dust. There should be at least 3 groups of them, or about 4 or 5 of them in this tunnel. And at the very end you've got your mega milk. Go back the way you came, and this time we're going to go into that trench with all the orb weavers. This is where you're going to find a black ant hill and loads of black ant eggs, or red ant eggs weirdly, so that you can make bombs in case you need to. You can see the wolf spider across the way, so you don't want to mess with that. You can jump across this gap and get to the next part if you really want, but obviously if we're clearing it all out completely, then yeah, we're going to go down into this trench first. Coming down this way means you can take on the orb weavers at a relatively nice pace. They're not all going to attack you at once as you're going down a corridor. Pick up this milk molar here, and then on the right hand side you should come across some of the quartzite as well, tier 2. It's incredibly dark down here, so if you keep going down a trench, that's where you encounter the orb weavers, and you can lure them 1 at a time or 2 at a time instead of 4. But instead we're going to go down through here. This is where you're going to fight the black ants. Thankfully there's no black ant soldiers, so as long as you don't go and attacking them straight away, they'll leave you alone. There is some scrabs in here, but as I told you at the start, there's a better place where you can get guaranteed around 6 to 8 scarab shells, and you've got some more of the obviously regular upgrade material here. And yeah, red ant eggs. Yeah, confusing or what? Keep going down the tunnel and eventually you will come to the Undershed sinkhole location marker if you haven't already gone through here on your first visit to go and take care of the man. You've got plenty of supreme quartzite and the regular tier 2 here, so make sure you gather all this. And then you can peer out into the actual sinkhole itself, but be careful, mosquitoes will aggro, but actually it's not a bad way to draw some of them in, although they do tend to respawn quickly, or there's just so many of them that it's not really worth trying to take them all out here. I was expecting these to be them tiger mosquitoes, but they're not, they're just regular tier 1. Now you can drop down, but we're going to do that in a while. We're just going to focus on clearing out each area by each area. So back through, and we're going to take care of that trench. So obviously you turn right when you come out of that anthill, and yeah, you should probably aggro a couple of the orb weavers as you're getting some more of that quartzite upgrade stuff. This is really the safest way to deal with all these if you haven't got particularly great armour. Maybe you're coming in here just for a nosy, haven't got your best gear on, or something you're not really comfortable doing, taking on 6 or 7 of them. I maxed out all my molar points so that I'd have maximum health as well as stamina, and I've got pretty decent armour here. This is all maximum upgraded, hence why I'm not taking too much damage. Obviously you might not all be in that same position. Another couple were aggroed on me, take care of these. Then another 2 or 3 to deal with, and should come to a large rock with a sturdy marble upgrade and another few, and we're now getting to the end of the trench, so hopefully you've dealt with about 6 or 7 of them by now, so this should all be a lot easier. Because they really weren't doing much damage to me, I just went buck wild and took out all of them in one go. If these had been all Weaver Juniors, I might have been a bit more resistant as I didn't want to get poisoned. But don't forget the sturdy upgrades that were by that large rock as we went past on the right hand side, and then should be another sturdy marble if you keep going towards where you can get exit out by the stick out of the main trench. And not forgetting the mint piece if you really want to eat some of them or get some of them quickly. And then that's it, climb the stick back up and we're back to where we faced off against the black ox beetles. If we follow the pipe all the way around again, the white one, we're going to actually jump on top of the screwdriver and go and take a look at this sort of central island, what kind of stuff is inside here. There will be some roly-polies and there will be 2 wolf spiders patrolling in and around this area. But again, there's a whole ton of lint that you can get hold of too. If you head towards the far pillar on the opposite side of the trench, you've got some more rust that you can pick up. And then sticking more to the left hand side, you'll come across even more termites and some roly-polies, as well as a huge amount of mushrooms, but obviously that's a real not focus in this video, as you can get that from absolutely anywhere else. You really want to just be focusing on a lint upgrade materials, and maybe, possibly maybe, taking on the Black Widow. But yeah, check all of these pink areas to see if any nodes have spawned, and it should all be respawnable so you can come in here again. One thing to note, in the far corner, facing towards where we just came from, pretty much at the entranceway, go down here and get another sturdy marble piece. And then you can go through like this mushroom forest on the left hand side, facing towards the actual cave and where the widow is, and eventually we'll come to another pillar with the termites on top as well. And also you can see down below, that's where we've got to get to eventually, once you keep going that way. More or less in the middle between them areas again, some more lint nodes. And yeah, you have got them wolf spiders. One of them's on this large rock, propping up the pallet of wood. And now we've done almost a little loop of just this middle area. Go on top of that actual wood plank and go all the way up, and you'll be able to go ahead and get that raw science, as well as again another ton of lint. Might want to kill the termite that's just opposite in case it does knock you off when you try jumping, so that can happen. And then you want to be at the bottom part of the lint here, the red stuff or pink stuff, and then aim here. Otherwise you'll hit the ceiling and bounce pretty much off. Get the 500 raw science, and look at that, how much lint is all that. Of course, when I dropped down, I did aggravate the wall spider that was there. But again, not too bad when you've got maxed out armour and some decent weapons. So back to the start, go to where you came into the undershed, stick to the right hand side pipes and jump across onto this pillar again. Or head towards that little science outpost and you'll be able to get on top of this tube particular. And in the middle basically is a whole ton of lint. You can't really miss it. Like I said, you can get to this place from both of them spots, either the science outpost or the pillar. And again, there might be even 20 pieces of lint just in this area alone. So whatever way you do it, just make sure you get to this point on the right hand side where you go across where the nail is. And you guessed it, we're going to jump into that pipe. Now the best way is to probably jump on top of it and then just drop down onto the penny. You can of course keep following it all the way down, but instead we want to actually go inside it because that's where we're going to find all the scarabs. Again, it's super easy if you've got a tuft. Just drop down, float on it, and get ready to get a ton of the shells. You will need to deal with a few maybe dust mites down here as well. When you get to the end, the scarabs basically get stuck or glitch or got nowhere else to run. They can't burrow into the ground, and so it's easy pickings. I managed to get 8 shells just by doing this the one time, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably respawn again. Okay, it's time to take a look into that big drop and opening with all the water in it, and of course the entrance to the Black Widow there. There is going to be a ton of the tier 2 fleas in here, so you got to be careful. They will absolutely munch on you. There's not really anything else in here worth collecting other than the 500 raw science that you'll find inside this pipe. So hurry up, get the 500 raw science and then just get out as quickly as you can. You can aim to one of the little pieces of land on the side where you'll see the mushrooms, and you can see opposite us is the sinkhole opening, and there's plenty of mushrooms if you really want to get them. There is some upgrade rocks here that you might want to get hold of as well. Now it's important to note there are some things that you're going to have to drop down to get, and you'll end up in the water anyway, so you might want to leave all this until the very end when you're about to leave maybe, or you've come in here for maybe like the 3rd or 4th attempt at getting every bit of loot. You can see the hole where the black ant eggs were, where we fought them mosquitoes earlier, and there appears to be something like a jumping puzzle. That'll take you all the way around the sides, hopefully to a mega milk, but I'm going to show you an easy way to get it. So keep the wall to the right, head up the roots, and eventually you'll keep going up. You'll find some more upgrade materials along this path and a whole bunch of pupa too. As you can see, it all sticking out from the wall. Can be a bit tricky with these roots. If you drop down, you're going to be in the water again and you have to come all the way back up. But clamber up, jump onto the thicker one here, and then turn around and just keep going higher rather than actually that way, as it can't really go. This is the way you want to go. You'll come here where there's even more of the pupa and some sap. Hop across the root and hop across here and you'll get another upgrade rock. So you can hop on the root in front of you, and if you turn around you can see there might be a pathway up if you really want to get back up to that top area. We're going to hop onto the next route, go and get this 500 raw science, and this is how you actually get on top of the stones to go to the Black Widow area. Jump on this route here and look out for the mosquitoes. This is where they might start aggroing you and they can push you off. So you're better off quickly jumping onto that entranceway and fighting them there. You may get a few of the Black Widow spiderlings come out at this point. They do roam free, although there's plenty of egg sacs as well, so be careful not to run in there and seek protection in case you damage any more. You really don't want 4 or 5 of them attacking you at the same time as the mosquitoes. Just before you go into the tunnel though, you can go ahead and harvest this quartzite. And the last thing to really show before we get into the lab area is if you're actually near the top where the pipe goes into the sinkhole, you can drop down onto this route here and then you can see the science points below you. The reason I'm saying this way is because there is another upgrade stone. You really might not want to bother since it's in one of the toughest places to get one. But I can't do a complete guide if I don't show you. It's literally underneath this large rock and it might be the only way that you're actually able to get it is by dropping down with a tuft onto the platform. And then the last thing you need to know is if you actually carry on past the pipe where we were earlier, this is how you get that mega milk molar. Like I said, it does look like there might be a way around, or you can just drop down for the other side as well. But this does all require quite a lot of going back on yourself through the different parts of the upper yard and then climbing back over the pipes to get the right angle. So that's why I've really shown these two as kind of last, or you can decide which one's more important, a mega milk or the upgrade. Of course it's the mega milk. But yeah, here it is under the dirt pile, you can see just below us. So we'll drop down, grab it, and that's the last mega milk in this area until we get to the top now. And then yeah, you should be able to go across the rocks to the sinkhole opening to where the Black Widow is here. So Black Widows, incredibly tough, incredibly difficult to deal with. No point putting Mithridism on because it doesn't work. They've actually got venom, not poison. So utilise any of the other mutations that will benefit your build more. Either going with, either slashing, using the daggers, whatever it is, critical hit, stamina, health, whatever suits your build more. Now I first stupidly tried to throw some explosives because apparently that's the only thing it's not technically weak against as far as I can see. But yeah, that was a big mistake. That said, with full health and mutations, you can see that one hit has only took away about half my health. And having the meals so you get more damage resistance and more damage attack or more health absolutely is crucial to defeating this. Now, I have already shown you guys how to defeat it. This is pretty much a guide to get around it. Draw it into the tunnel towards where the mosquitoes are. It's a pretty good method for getting it away if you really can't deal with it or you've got limited supplies after getting through that whole dungeon. I would really go for Mum's Gene, or if you did manage to break through here and get the Mant boss sorted, then you could use the Mant summon. Anything to distract the actual spider and basically take away some of the heat from you. You can see I'm using all the different healing stuff I've actually got on me here just to keep myself survive. And yeah, I actually drew it all the way to the ledge, seemingly with not many places left to go. You could even try angling into the water and jumping on the other side and peppering it with arrows, or you could simply try and wail on it here if you feel like you're that good. But bearing in mind you still may have mosquitoes attack, hopefully they may even get in trouble, but I decided to just leg it and that seemed to work. It gave me enough time to go into the arena and get the goodies that are inside here. You will get some of the spiderlings maybe follow you, but as I said, Mum's Gene kind of helped. I ended up having two of them once I had the mutation properly equipped, and I got the mega milk that was hiding in the corner next to these eggs. And then there's just one more upgrade stone before we can hopefully run out of here through maybe some more of the spiderlings. I honestly just don't think it's worth coming in here to fight this one unless you absolutely have to because you've not got any of the drops from the other locations of the Black Widows, or until you've defeated the man and you found the shortcut in here, which is a lot quicker, easier to get to. It is a piece of supreme quartzite, so you might want to get that near the tunnel entrance. That will take you to the laboratory. With Mum's Gene equipped, I was pretty much able to get through, and even when I did get poisoned, it wasn't as bad as it was previously. It does feel a bit like maybe they nerfed some of the damage from these, because when I played this pre-release, as I got given a bit of early access, these guys were absolutely kicking my ass. And even though yes, I had much better armor maybe this time, it wasn't that much of an improvement on what I had. So yeah, I think they've probably nerfed a little bit the power of some of these Black Widows. Making it through the other side, and we're back where we were when I first showed you the fastest way to get to the laboratory. There is still a bunch of loot to get in this area though. So if you go actually to the right of the science laboratory above the entrance for the Black Widow den, you'll find this milk molar here against the wall. And then keeping the dirt wall on the left and the science lab on the right, head back towards where the entrance ways come in that direction, and you find the milk molar here on the wooden ledge. Don't forget even more lint on side this little mound here. And if you come to where the roly-polies are, right above the entrance to the sinkhole, you've got another mega milk just here, right by the upturned wood. Let's go ahead and climb the branch stick and jump on the wood, and this first level here you'll find a spicy cha-cha, and go past that ledge, drop down, and you've got another couple of upgrade sturdy marbles. If you return to that bit of wood that was taking you up past the cha-cha, if you go all the way to the top, you've got 500 raw science, some black spiderlings, and another milk molar. And from here you want to try and get on top of that pipe. You can actually climb the little bit of wood here. There's two little bits where you'll be able to just climb up, and you might need a dandelion tuft if you miss it. But yeah, you want to get on this pipe and go all the way down to get the last few bits of lint. Also directly underneath the big massive canister of raw science, you've got some supreme marble. Look out though, sometimes the pieces actually go inside, so you have to angle up and you should still be able to pick them up. And that's pretty much it. It's time to go inside the actual laboratory. Don't miss out on any of the data items that you'll find in here. A few buttons with doorways, or even doorways with buttons, and some fire ants in this first room. A save point and a whole bunch of salt. Then you've got two doorways. One doorway will lead you to the boss in a minute, but first we've got to go and get the last few bits. So open this doorway and go through the laboratory and find out where the mant escaped from, or tried to originally. You'll have a couple of baby Allweaver juniors and a couple of infected larvae. This is why the salt and fresh combination can be really good. Obviously not so much for the baby Allweavers, but certainly for the fresh, the mint against the ants, and obviously the larvae. Go ahead and make sure you pull the lever, and this will open up the last doorway and pick up any more of the data, as well as some more supplies behind you, including some hilbasa and some granola. Don't forget to save again, go through the opposite door, which will now be open with the mant sign on it, and you will face off against the mant. You just need to go through here, jump up on top of this ruined lab work, then drop down into the hole and go and fight him. Now I found, with max upgraded weapons of course, but this absolutely wrecked him in the first stages. It is obviously the toenail sword. It has got fresh equipped, and that is one of the mant's weaknesses, is that, as well as slashing or stabbing. So absolutely wrecking him here. I did switch weapons just to have a little play and see if any of them did as well. The corrosion spear was okay. I'll bet it still had fresh in it, but it didn't seem to be doing nowhere near as much damage as the toenail sword. So I think there's a hidden weakness here to corrosion as well for the mant. Then I tried the Black Widow dagger, and yeah, it does pretty good damage, I have to say. A lot of poison and stuff, but yeah, for sure it's the toenail one that seemed to be doing the most. It's resistant to explosives, salty and spicy, and yeah, weak to stabbing, fresh and slashing. So I ended up finishing it off with my chopping axe. It does summon some red ants, and sometimes it does start exploding its back sort of explosions when it gets to half health, so look out for that. But if you're quick enough like that, then yeah, you won't have to worry. Go ahead and press the button, then another biometric scanner to get out here. You have more doorways to open, and then you get to Wendell. Don't forget to pick up Tully's scab, and also make sure you pick up the recipe for the cooler. That's how you get the fridge. Now, because I'm a dirty cheater, some of my game bugs out there, but you're meant to get 1000 raw science, as well as get the mutation for the mysterious stranger, which means you summon the man for a few seconds. Tully will ask you to go ahead and pick up the grilled science, and there's a whole bunch of meals in this room as well, and then you exit out by the termite place, and then that's it. You're ready to go and do the last final base defense, which is pretty much the end of the game if you want it to be. There we go. That is how to complete the Undershed laboratory. A huge amount of loot. Do it in stages. Take on the man as soon as you possibly can. Then go back and get everything else you need before hopefully trying to finish the game. I've already got loads of videos showing you how to do all that, so check it out, and I'll see you rat bags for more guides very soon.